What's good, people? My name's Ethan and I'm a property developer slash entrepreneur based in South London. You're going to realize I'm going to keep adding titles to my name because it sounds cool. But today I'm going to start a new series called the FAQ series, and that's going to be the most frequently asked questions in the property space for people trying to get into property and in fact people that are already in property. So today I thought I'd start off with the most common question I get is how did I get into property and how I can get started in property in 2022. So now I'm going to split this video up into 3 different parts and actionable steps that you can take to get started in property today. Now, the first point I want to talk to you guys about is education, which is the most important thing when getting started. Because I know from the outside it looks glitz and glam and it's just buying, selling, renting. However, fundamentally it is just buying, selling and renting, but there are so many different strategies available. So you need to find which strategy best suits you and your situation. Property is definitely not a one size fits all. You need to get yourself educated to be able to find what best suits you. And to do this, for me, this came in 3 forms: YouTube videos, podcasts and books. So I'll recommend some videos and books and stuff. The first ever book I bought in property, and I need some sort of code, shares or something, because I tell everyone to buy this book, but it was Property Investing for Beginners by Rob Dick. So this book taught me all the strategies, well, most of the strategies that were available to me within like the renting sector and buying and selling and how that sort of works. So that gave me a really good fundamental basis, how renting works and how flipping property works, which allowed me to start thinking about what route I wanted to go down and what best suited my situation at the time. So that is the first form of education that you should start implying or you should start using is books. Books. And it's a cheap way of acquiring this information. This is the number 1 book I would recommend for people that are trying to learn about the strategies that are available to them and gets you start thinking first what route you want to go down. So that's the first one. And then podcasts. So podcast was my second favorite form of education. Whilst I was at university, I was literally podcasting to and from campus, literally walking around. Like when I was on my way to tuition or on my way to like anything I did, I was literally constantly reading podcasts and listening to podcasts, And the podcast that I was mostly listening to was J2 Hub, which is by James Sahota, then Property Strat, which is my favorite podcast, and then Property Hub. So that was also another podcast that's done by Rob and Rob. So that was my second form of favorite education for property is, just on your way to the gym, listen to a podcast, on your way to school, on your way to work, wherever it is, just, instead of listening to music, just substitute that with a podcast and listen to that like an hour a day, and you realize how much information you'll be able to accumulate quickly, like just as you're just taking in everything. Now my last form of education, which is probably my favorite and most entertaining, is YouTube videos. Now YouTube videos is something I watch I'm constantly watching YouTube videos whenever I'm like, just having a break, resting, lying, having dinner. I've got some sort of property related YouTube video on that I'm just absorbing all the information I can, and which is why I love YouTube videos, because it's free. Like it's literally free. So YouTube videos, watch them, just keep on subscribe to my channel, subscribe to everyone else's channel that you see, and just keep on absorbing YouTube videos. So those would be my 3 forms of education, I would say, that allows you to accumulate this knowledge over a longer period of time, but still relatively quick, but over a longer period of time. So for my situation, it's quite different because I was at university, so I had time to be able to accumulate all this information. However, if you want to accumulate this information within a short period of time, then courses would be your next direction. So courses is a controversial topic within the property industry, and I feel like it's because it kind of splits up the crowd. So you've got some people that just don't want to ever get scammed and they think, courses are rip-off. And then you got people that I believe just don't want to invest in themselves. And the more you learn and the more you realize is that before investing in property, you need to invest in yourself. So I strongly believe that if you do want to acquire the information in a way where it's easily digestible and yourself, you're going to take action once you've kind of got on a course, then investing in yourself is important, and getting on a course can be very beneficial for yourself. But I don't have any courses that I can recommend, mainly because I haven't been on any, but I wouldn't turn a blind eye on courses. I think that, if I needed to go on a course about a certain strategy within property today, I wouldn't think twice about doing it. I'd literally just do it. Like it's compact, easily digestible, allows you to, acquire the information within a short space of time and then just take the action. So firstly, invest in yourself, invest in your education, then invest in property. So how do I get started? First point is education. Now onto networking. Now networking was probably my biggest confidence builder when moving into the property space. And besides all that, network stuff, which is very important. However, if you want to get into property, you need to be surrounded by people within property already doing what you want to do, learning off their mistakes, or like-minded individuals who are also trying to get into that space, so that you can have a sense of accountability and you're motivating each other to be able to achieve your goals. So networking can be split into two things. So you've got your online networking and your offline networking. Your online networking would be like, your Facebook groups, Instagram, LinkedIn, and, reaching out to people that are already within that space and asking for advice. There's like loads of social media influencers within the property space that do Q&As, and taking advantage of those sessions, those live Q&As, to be able to ask you questions that you want to be asked and things like that. And then you've got your mastermind groups, which is what I joined. I joined Alpha Jade's mastermind group back in September 2020. Yeah, so I think it was around October 2020. I would say that's when my growth and confidence within this space started like accelerating, because I was around individuals who were actively searching for deals, and people who were actively, completing on deals, flipping properties, buying properties, HMOs, all these different strategies. And being in those sessions like every Tuesday allowed me to like listen to the other questions people were asking, interactive WhatsApp group chats, just learning from people's mistakes, which is so valuable, to be able to learn from other people's mistakes and saving yourself money. And then you've got your offline networking, which is essentially your in-person networking, and when you're going for your PIN meetings. So there's property networking events like in all areas. I guarantee you, like if I want to look for a property networking event, first thing I just do is go on Eventbrite and type in property networking events, and there'll be one within your area or one within like an hour from you, an hour commute, and just go out there and start interacting with people. I know it can be very scary going out by yourself, but just going out by yourself and letting people know what you want to do just opens so many doors. Like, you don't understand how many opportunities you can open by just telling people what you do, interacting with people that are like-minded, that would also be able to find accountability partners at these, and potential JV partners, and also investors. If you're looking to raise finance in the future, you'll be able to meet potential investors at these networking events. Now, on to my last point, for the people that are more practical learners, which is work experience. Now, this is a route that I tried to go down, reaching out to property investors and developers whilst I was at university, and got no response. But now looking back at it, I now know why I wasn't successful, and that's because there was no value exchange. If you're in a fortunate enough position where you've got some sort of skill, such as like marketing, you're good at social media or website creation, or any sort of value that you can bring to them, propose that in exchange for, shadowing them for a couple of weeks and being able to expose yourself industry directly. So going out on viewings with them, maybe just talking to agents, looking at how they do some deal analysis. Yeah, just allowing yourself to be in the environment, to be able to absorb the information practically and apply it in different scenarios. Because I know watching loads of YouTube videos, podcasts and books might not be the best way of learning for some people, as it's not so practical, but trying to gain some sort of work experience, shadow a developer, will be your best option to be able to go down there, offer some sort of value exchange, and in exchange for you to be able to follow them, accompany them whilst they're going on viewings, going on site visits, and things like that will also allow you to accumulate lots of knowledge and also building a good networking. To conclude, that is the 3 routes that you should take when trying to get started into property: education, network, and work experience. So that would be the 3 different things. Now, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the recommendations of books, podcasts, and everything down in the description below. And I'd like you guys to subscribe, like, and comment any questions that you'd also like me to answer in this FAQ series. And I'll do my best to make a video on it. And watch out for Tuesday tips as well on my Instagram at EthanXHammond. So thank you guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.
We don't really know the meaning of perfection, but you can count on